Hi, I'm Kelly Rowlett Pressgrave. I'm president and CEO of Work With Your Hands, and we are so proud to be a sponsor of Power Women of the Trades podcast. You can reach us at workwithyourhands.com. Kelly at workwithyourhands.com is my email.
At Relentless Digital, we believe in breaking barriers and driving innovation. That's why we are extremely proud to sponsor the Power Women of the Trades podcast, supporting the voices and success of women in the home service industry. Together, we're creating a future where talent shines, regardless of gender, and diversity thrives. Join our journey at relentless-digital.com and always be relentless in your pursuit of excellence.
This episode of Power Women of the Trades is also brought to you by Forrest Perry of Forrest Perry Digital Marketing. Want to generate more leads for your service business? Trust his team to deliver quality new customer leads and protect your brand online. Check out perrymarketing.com today.
Welcome to Power Women of the Trades podcast. This show is all about breaking barriers and changing the game. Our guests will feature some of today's most successful female entrepreneurs and other advocates of our industry as well. Because if there's one thing we know for sure, female-led entrepreneurship drives change on multiple levels. We want to empower women in the trade industry like you so you can maximize your potential, stay balanced, achieve long-term success, and claim ownership over your life. Let's get started.
Hey, Jessica. So excited because if you are a longtime listener of Power Women of the Trades podcast, Jessica Smith has been mentioned no less than 50 times in the last 18 months. Like, I feel like you are the queen of all things and the helper of all things, and you get brought up so often. So we're so excited to have you on the show.
Great to be here.
I'm excited. So many things to learn.
I'm so excited to talk to you, Jessica. I'm so excited to find out about some of the new things that you're doing.
Yeah. So taking it back, I know with me specifically, I met Jessica through the ServiceTitan Masterminds group on Facebook. I think that's the start of our friendship.
Yeah.
Right, Heather?
Yeah, that's where I met Jessica as well. And then in the Lady Titans, when she started Lady Titans, that's kind of where things took off.
So Jessica's like the OG, a lot of things with, I just think about the time frame, like pre-COVID, back in the day with ServiceTitan. What was it before it was called Titan? What's the little...
Titan Score.
The Titan Score.
Titan Score before it was Titan Advisor.
Yeah. So the Titan Score, you were like originally the pro at that. If there's something inside of ServiceTitan that is broke, normally Jess can figure it out or knows how to answer before probably someone at ServiceTitan does, respectfully. And so just literally the other day, I was like, hey, I need to fix this. And it was like 500 things. And Kelly was like, I'm going to have to message support. And I was like, Hail Mary, real quick. I'm going to ask Jess. And she had the answer. And so anyways, I'm super excited to have you here and learn, tell everyone about all the great things you do and have done, and then hear all about your wisdom. Awesome. So number one, back in the day, pre-COVID, isn't it so funny we do this? Pre-COVID, post-COVID.
Pre-COVID.
It's like BC-AD. Pre-COVID. Are we going to do that? Like PC-AC? So pre-COVID, private equity entering our industry, all of those things. What did you do?
So way back, I was a college dropout and a waitress. And then when I was 22, I moved back to my hometown. And my dad said, why don't you come cover the phones for the summer? We got people taking vacations. He had an HVAC business. Mm-hmm. And I went and answered some phones and did some special projects. And from there, just kind of moved up through the ranks, did a little bit of everything until eventually I was running the show in the office.
Yeah. And then you did that. When was that? Like, what year was that?
I started in 2006. And then in 2021, he sold to private equity. Mm-hmm. And I worked there for another year or so and then decided I wanted the small company feel again. How was it? It was fine.
Yeah.
I don't think corporate life is for me, but it was a good experience to have.
Fair.
How was the transition between being privately held versus going to private equity?
So it was a little different for me because I went and worked for corporate. I handled ServiceTitan for the whole brand, where someone who just stayed with their company when it got acquired would probably have a different experience.
Yeah, that makes sense.
My experience was great. I got to go visit different branches, got to go to the new acquisitions, got to make decisions about how we were using ServiceTitan across like a multi-million-dollar business.
So how does that transition into your role now with Airworks and how you kind of became the guru of ServiceTitan with the the Lady Titans group. Tell us how that all came about.
So Lady Titans started in summer of 2020. It was early COVID and we weren't going to conferences. So we didn't have a Pantheon that year and we weren't seeing people. And some of us ladies in the ServiceTitan Masterminds group were sick of some of the posturing and just wanted to help each other and formed this group where we would meet on Zoom every month and talk about issues and help each other with ServiceTitan and help each other with personal issues and just kind of be each other's support in that really weird time.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of us did that. You know, nobody knew what to expect with COVID or how long it was going to last or what states were going to implement what regulations and, you know, how we were going to move forward through this. I mean, the last pandemic was in, I think, 1919. Yeah. And it's been an incredible and strange journey, I think, for everybody trying to figure out how to navigate around that. And that's a great reason to have started the group, I think. You know, we all knew during that time.
Interesting to me about that is the different, like we all had our COVID experience and all of us brought out relationships. Like relationships were built through COVID, but it's funny to know the different experiences we all had with COVID based off of our geographic location, because Heather was in Oregon so that's West Coast, right? Okay. I suck at geography, FYI. Like one time
I'm West Coast, Jess is East Coast, and you're in the middle.
Yeah, and we're in the middle. And Oklahoma's the Wild West, okay? Like very, very red state. Like a lot of things didn't happen in some of other areas experienced with COVID. Like COVID was still happening here, but we didn't have like the regulations that some of you guys did. And so I remember talking back then to Heather when she was with Sky and they were like laying people off. And I was like, we're not laying people off. Like we're still, going. Now we're much different size. So like it makes sense that I love that about that's part of the story of Lady Titans is that you guys like gravitated towards each other in the different experiences. And I know the original founders of Lady Titans was kind of like that too. Some of you were on the East Coast and then some of you were one was in Oklahoma. Like, so it's kind of very different. Everyone was experiencing different things, right?
Yeah.
Well, and then the West Coast was very different. To Cassie's point, the West Coast, we were shut down for a lot longer than the rest of the country.
Yeah. I remember I feel like we could have a whole episode of trauma from COVID times. I remember like y'all having in the West Coast, having like, or seeing pictures of like the tents where restaurants you were eating outside in the tent. And I was like, well, isn't that the same? But anyways, we didn't do that stuff in Oklahoma.
That went on for a very long time on the West Coast where restaurants were serving people outside for a good year and a half. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? So then you guys created the Lady Titans. And then from knowing a little bit of that story from Lauren, right? Yeah. Lauren, you guys like get Vahe, right? On board?
Yeah. We make a post on Facebook, sort of tongue in cheek, imploring Vahe to send Stacy to Massachusetts to come see Lauren and I. And he comments on it. Like we never even saw this going anywhere. It was a joke at that point, right? And he comments, he's like, this is really intriguing. And I can't send people anywhere because COVID and I don't want ServiceTitan's name on causing a bigger outbreak or whatever.
Right.
But he's like, this is interesting. And ServiceTitan is happy to back this group and we're here for you. What do you need? And they gave us Amy Herman to help us facilitate and run our Zoom meetings. And Amy Herman is the best, by the way.
Yeah. And it just exploded from there and it's became this like movement. Okay. So let's talk more about Lady Titans later because we have some things that we want to talk about for Pantheon that's coming up that I'm super jealous of. So FOMO for that, but let's talk about that later so we can learn more about you. So let's go kind of back to that story. You were working for your dad's company, sales, worked for that group, and then you left because you said earlier corporate life wasn't for you, which I think we all three have opinions of that we should probably keep to it for safety purposes. No, I'm just kidding. So then where are you at now? What are you doing now?
So I work for a company called Airworks Solutions, HVAC and plumbing in Southern California. I still live in Connecticut. Another blessing of COVID is you don't have to live where you work anymore. And I got a random Facebook message from Stephanie Allen on Facebook that said, hey, I heard you're an expert. I hire experts. Would you like to come work for me? And we had a conversation and I made a move.
That's incredible. So I can relate to that right now with Stephanie Allen. I almost wish that we could have had but the same thing happened here recently at Quality. Heather I had already asked, known Heather for a long time, had already asked her to be the new co-host. That was already a thing. And then she made her move from her career. And I kept saying, hey, I really want you to work Quality. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know how to make it work. I know that it can work. I want you to work for quality. And then, so that recently just happened. And so I want to hear some insight on that. So what do you do with it for Airworks now? You're like operations?
Yeah, my title is accounting and process manager. Like I went in, my role was supposed to be maximizing ServiceTitan and helping determine processes. But then our accounting person left and I have that background. So I kind of rolled into that and never rolled back out. So now I'm handling the accounting and ServiceTitan.
Isn't that how all the positions happen? It's like, and now you have this.
Yeah, it's great.
That's awesome. So how do you make that work? Because Heather and I have some new need to like learn this, right? How on the day-to-day, I mean, what is that time difference? 3 hours?
It's 3 hours. So I work 9 to 5 Eastern, which is 6 to 2 Pacific.
Okay.
So it gives me a little bit of time in the morning before everything's really rolling to just get some stuff done. And I'm still there late enough in the Pacific day that it's not a hardship that I'm off the clock at 2 o'clock.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm trying to balance that too, because I'm opposite. Where it's 2 hours. We're 2 hours earlier here. And so I end up working later hours in the evening.
Yeah. And the other day I was like, hey, if you're messaging Heather right now, it's 5 a.m. And they're like, oh my gosh, so it's a different dynamic for sure too, because we're opposite. So do you I just feel like this is really intriguing and could be helpful for other people maybe considering exploring this type of position in the company. Because when I announced that I was going to have Heather as our CFO and then she lives in Oregon, everyone has been amazing because of course, like the fact that Heather is coming to work for quality and highly sought after, I was like, oh my gosh. But, a couple of people were like, remote positions never work, and I'm like, well, you don't know Heather, but
I've had 2.5 years.
Yeah, I think they do work, right? So
it does work, I think, with the right person and with strong line of communication, understood expectations and things like that. Who knows me knows that I'm very similar to Jessica. I'm going to work as much as I need to.
Yeah, for sure. I was like,
I get yelled at for answering messages at midnight Eastern time.
Yeah, I could foresee that too. So how do you feel like, what does that look like on the day-to-day to feel like you're still involved with the business and the culture? Like, are you guys Slack or Teams?
We have Google Chat.
Okay.
So we primarily communicate that way. We have a weekly leadership meeting on Mondays where we go through what's going on and what needs to happen and very set agendas. So we make sure we cover everything. Yeah. I'm available to meet whenever they need. So people will put things on my calendar and we chat it out. Really, what's the difference between sitting across a desk from each other and sitting in front of a computer?
Most businesses' online presence is boring. And by being boring, they're losing out on potential sales and customers. Being interesting and exciting is what draws customers in and gets them to buy from you. But it's hard to be interesting online when you're focused on running your business and taking care of your customers. It doesn't have to be this way. We have the key to unlocking the solution to your problem. Kee Hart Marketing can help take your business from boring to brilliant on social media. We can vouch for them. They run our podcast socials. If you want to have a strong social media presence that allows customers to know, like, and trust you, connect with Kee Hart Marketing at keehartmarketing.com.
Yeah, truthfully, it really is not a huge difference. But I think through COVID time, again, BC, what did I say that? BC and AC, after COVID, I think that people are, trying to get everyone back in the office. And so they get a little red flags. But I think that it's, like you said, the right person, the person that, as long as a job is getting done, that's the priority, right? And then beyond that, does the location matter?
Exactly. I've only been out there a couple of times on average.
I was just going to ask that. How often do you go out, like on site with the team?
I've been there twice. Both times were in June. It just happened to be that's when it works out. And stay in a hotel. We go out and have meals. We build a little culture. I go to the office during the day. I've timed it for the summer party both times, so I get to do that. Yeah. I have a little FOMO. I haven't made a Christmas party yet, but at least I've made the summer parties.
That's good.
This is a hard time to travel.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the Christmas party at Quality this year. I had a blast being on site with them last week.
Yeah, she was like, because the plan was for her to come quarterly for us, and she's like, maybe I'll come like every other month or something, because it does. I have a different. I know my limitations, right? So like, I know if I was a work from home person, I would not be productive. So the fact that you guys can do that and maintain what you need to do is amazing. For me, what would happen is I would squirrel out because that's how my ADHD is set up, right? I would squirrel out. I'd be outside with the dogs. I would be doing my laundry. I would forget I even had a job. But But again, that's knowing our limitations and who we are. Like, I know what I can and can't do, and that's not something I can do. So I think it's great that you can recognize. But that's also why you two are numbers people and have like, it's a difference in the mind, in the brain, right?
My husband would like me to be able to do laundry during the workday, but I find myself in my office and I don't leave until 5 o'clock. Like, if I leave my office, I'll get distracted.
I'm the same. I have a specific room in my house that is my office, and I'm in there. And I actually find that I end up working longer than I did when I was at Sky, because I'm going down a rabbit hole of something that I want to get finished before the end of the day. And like, my family's like, hey, it's 7 o'clock at night. And I'm like, I'm so close to getting to the end of, a stopping point. And so I'll just keep working. And it's really nice to not have the distractions as far as productivity goes, but the distractions are also the fun part of the culture. So that's the thing that you're giving up by working from home. And I've always loved being in the office environment. I loved being at Quality last week, just because I got, that camaraderie of the team and what was going on in the office throughout the day, and, being able to give the high fives and the, jumping in and helping problem solve with things like that. And I can still do that from here on the Quality does Teams chat all day long. So that's been a great thing to be a part of, so I can keep in touch with what's going on there. But I also find that when I'm here in my office, I'm just working all day long.
Yeah. I could see that. I was at work yesterday. Oscar was leaving, and Haley has cheer like 6 days a week. And she said, but she didn't yesterday. And so he said, hey, are you coming home with me? And she said, no, I'll wait for mom. And he said, well, you probably want to come with me because she doesn't have anywhere she has to be. So knowing her, she's going to stay later. And that's the truth. I was sitting here because now all my distractions were gone. So I can actually see that perspective from the work from home now, because everyone was gone. Actually, Hannah, our customer experience manager, was walking out the door, and she said, I feel bad that I'm leaving before you. And I was like, oh, come on, get out, leave. I'll go leave, fake leave if you want me to. But I was getting so much done that I couldn't leave. And so I could see that.
Yeah.
So Jessica, do you feel like you have trouble separating it then sometimes, or are you just really strict with your...
I stop working at 5 o'clock, but I don't stop answering messages because I can't. If I leave them till the morning, they're going to be buried, or they're not going to need the answer anymore. And what's it take? 5 minutes to be like, oh, here's what you need. This is where I left off. This is what your question. It's just easier for me to answer the question.
I always say,
and if I'm not going to be available, I make sure they know, hey, I'm not going to answer chats tonight. I have something going on.
Yeah,
I can totally relate to that, Jessica.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it. I always say, I'm sending this message now because it's convenient for me. Because sometimes at 9 o'clock at night, I'm sitting on the couch and I'm like, oh, and I'm like, I'll send this message now because it's convenient for me, but I want you guys to respond when it's convenient for you. So when Heather was here last week, she was like, how much do you guys use Teams? And I was like, well, we basically don't use email, and we live and die by Teams. And like, we have an all company chat. And I was like, basically, you might want to mute it, like check it, but mute it because it's like our company Facebook. Everyone, last night we had a storm. Heather saw that we had a storm come through, and everyone's sending pictures because it was like a storm we weren't expecting. It was wind was blowing from the south, but storms coming from the north, which we're Oklahomans. So we know we're about to that's calling for a tornado and something's going on. And so it's like Facebook chat, but that's really big for us for our culture. So I knew it was important for Heather not being here to be a part of that if she wanted to be, so she'd get to know the team.
Yeah, we have that too. And
and I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. So what do you see yourself doing? Like, I know with Airworks, they're on a growth pattern right now, right? So what do you see yourself doing in the next 5 years? What's your goal?
So I'm launching a new venture like this month called Box for the Trades, partnering with Megan Likes and Stephanie Allen. And our first product is helping people maximize the integration with QuickBooks and ServiceTitan, in particular, helping them set up the touchless accounting integration. Brand new ServiceTitan feature. I've been using it since January. It's fabulous. I love it. It's not terribly hard to set up, but there's a lot of cleanup involved because you have to make sure a bunch of things match and are the same. And some people may just want to have someone help them instead of figure it out on their own. And that's our plan, is to help people who don't want to do it themselves.
Okay, so is this officially announced?
Soft launch, but you can certainly tell the masses.
Okay, so let's get this straight real quick because I want to make sure, because I immediately grabbed my colored pencil. My office is also my daughter's office, apparently. I immediately grabbed my pencil. So you said it's called Box for the
Trades.
Box for the Trades.
Packaging it up and boxing it and giving it to you.
So did I understand correctly? Like, you're going to help contractor implement ServiceTitan, QuickBooks,
touchless accounting integration.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I think that's something, Heather. I'm like, what are you thinking, Heather? I think that's something.
I'm thinking I want to know more about this.
Yeah. Well, and I immediately immediately am thinking Heather too. Several people that Heather and I know are looking for something like this. This needs to be a hard announce, not soft launch. This is hard. We need a hard announcement because we know several people that are looking for this. Because I'll be real honest with you, as soon as I snagged Heather for quality, everyone's like, there's a lot of people looking for these types of things, right? And so it's opened up a lot of conversation. But especially like, what's your target customer? Like a smaller contractor?
Probably a smaller contractor who doesn't have a lot of in-office staff to do the cleanup or to even take the time to know what needs to be done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm so excited about this. I can't wait to hear more. I know so many people have reached out to me for help, and they're just not at a point where that's something that I could entertain, but there's such a need for it.
Well, and I can tell you that I know that this has been attempted before and it was not successful, respectfully. And hear me out. I'm not saying, I am telling you right now, hands down, if Jessica Smith is involved in this is the best damn thing that I've ever heard. Like, girl. Okay. And then talking about boundaries too, like just thinking about the ServiceTitan thing that Jess knows, like, come on. Okay. Game changer. If you're listening to this and you literally just heard about Box for the Trades, you better get on the sign up list because it's going to sell out. I already know it's going to sell out because people know you, girl, like know your reputation of your experience with ServiceTitan. And like I said, I go to Jessica before I go to support. And then one day she said, I need to get back to you later. I'm trying to say no when I can't do it. And I was like, amen, girl. I was like, I wanted to like virtually high five her and be like, that's amazing because she does respond very quickly and she is available to people. But for a long time, several people, I know you've heard me say it, like, when are you going to do something like that for yourself, like, and utilize your experience? And that's amazing. I'm so excited to hear that for you. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Yes, big congratulations. I am so excited to hear more as this unravels.
Yeah, I got goosebumps.
I know. I'm so excited for this. And, with Megan's amazing as well.
Megan's amazing.
And Stephanie, 3 powerhouse women putting together something that is so perfect for our industry. I'm ecstatic for you guys.
Isn't it incredible to like reflect back on the things that the heating and air conditioning, plumbing, and electric industries trades has created? Like, who would have thought, Jessica, like you said earlier, and I'm going to use your words, right? College dropout. I'm a college dropout too, by the way. I went to like one class and then whatever.
I did go back eventually, but I had to figure out what I wanted to do.
At that point, right? I didn't. So that's amazing. But dropped out of college, jumped into the trades, yes. Or were you working out in the field digging ditches? No. Maybe at some point you ran parts, who knows, whatever. But look what the trades birthed, right? And then on top of that, like through the ServiceTitan, whether you're a ServiceTitan fan or you're not, because it's like choosing a football team, I feel like, there's people that have strong opinions on ServiceTitan and the different softwares, right? ServiceTitan is my poison. That's the one I choose. Why? Because it does exactly what we need it to do for our business, whatever. However, look what through ServiceTitan continues to grow. It's just like, to me, I know that's just the life cycle of life, but it makes me so excited to know that things like that continue to be created as like not spinoffs, but through the trades.
Through the trades. And there's so much opportunity to do things in the trades, especially for women now.
Yeah.
And you've been one of the largest pioneers for that and just empowering women and bringing that to the forefront and allowing other women to see what's possible in this industry.
That's awesome. I get so excited. I can't wait to see it. I hope you guys get your little Facebook page, I want to start tagging you right now. So I'm so excited. Okay. So now let's go back to Lady Titans. Okay. Because Pantheon is coming up and we want to make sure this episode goes out before Pantheon. And we're going to make sure, just because it's important to talk about what's happening at Pantheon with Lady Titans. Can you tell us about that?
Lady Titans is putting on an event unaffiliated with Pantheon in Orlando on Monday night, September 30th. We will be providing transportation from the Pantheon location to our event location. It's an 80s Ladies in the Trade event, co-sponsored by Women in HVACR and Women in Plumbing and Pipe. And we also are going to have a face painting station called the Service Nation Painting Station. Super fun.
Oh, wow. I can't wait to see what comes from that.
It's at a roller rink. We're all dressing up in our 80s gear. I will go on record and say we picked this before ServiceTitan announced their theme. So we get 2 80s parties. It's fine. Save some packing. Wear the same outfit twice. But it's going to be so much fun. T-shirts and swag until we run out. There was everybody who signed up before we ordered the swag is guaranteed their T-shirt and 80s swag. Everybody who signed up after gets swag until we run out. It's going to be so so fun.
That's
Like,
awesome.
so excited.
I have major FOMO about that. I wish that we could come. Heather and I are traveling so much, and Pantheon is just an event like no other. I think it's one of the best hands down events in our space, but
Yeah, I totally agree. We're
So
sad to be
much.
missing it this year.
I'm sad you're missing it.
well,
Cassie has a grandbaby coming.
I know.
And-
I was going to try to still make it. And then I was just like, Cassie, like it was still on my schedule. And Oscar and Kaylee, I think, thought we were still going to go. And then finally I was just, but like, I'm going to miss the birth of our grandchild if I go. And so hypothetically potentially still missing the birth next week if she's born. But I've really asked my daughter-in-law to not have her next week. Yeah, I'm just like, no running, no crazy like rides in vehicles.
No spicy
Stick with
food.
it. Yeah, I just need you to stay still because I can't come home early from this event that we're going to. But yeah, so anyways, I'm just like so sad that I'm missing it. But that sounds like I'm excited. I'm proud of Lady Titans because that's new. There hasn't always been a party.
Yeah.
Right.
Last year there was a party. It was entirely funded by ServiceTitan and planned by ServiceTitan. This year our party is funded by Lady Titans and our sponsors, planned by Lady Titans, completely separate from ServiceTitan.
That's awesome. So it's
that's incredible.
So it's the pros. Like no hate to ServiceTitan, right? It's just like it's a little bit different when it's not facilitated by a corporation and all of those things. So that's awesome.
Exactly. And it's going to be so much fun. If you haven't signed up yet, ladytitans.org, click event, get signed up.
And then if you haven't signed up, if you can't make it to the Lady Titans event, still sign up to be a member of Lady Titans for sure. So you can stay connected and find out about new things happening. And there's weekly.
There's so much. Yeah, so much in that group.
We have 2 meetings a month. One is our lounge that's more structured. We have a speaker, they talk. And then the other one is, that's our spotlight series. Our lounge is less structured. We all get together and chat and bring an issue and we'll talk through it. And it's a lot of fun.
Awesome. Well, I'm so excited for that. And Jessica, you are a powerhouse. I think you probably don't give yourself as much credit as you should, because that is what we often do as women. But you are highly looked up to and appreciated in our space. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for everything that you do, Jess. I am so sad I'm not going to see you at Pantheon this year. This is the first year that I think Cassie and I are not going. So we will look forward to seeing you at other events.
Seeing all the pictures too. So
I'm going to send you guys specifically pictures from the Lady Titans event to show you what you're missing.
Yes, make us feel terrible.
Thank you.
Yeah, please do that. We want to. Heather, your microphone.
You can send me pictures from women in HVACR and I'll feel bad. So
I know. I wish you were going to that. It's Dallas. I'm driving there, but I know I'm in the middle, so it's easy. But anyways, Heather's microphone cut out for a minute. I think you had said something else.
I'm just so excited to see more from this box for the trades and how that's going to unroll. I really am interested in what you guys are doing with that.
So excited to tell you.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks for hanging out with us. Have a good one.
Thank you.
This has been Power Women of the Trades. Like what you hear so far? Leave us a review on Apple and make sure to listen to our other episodes wherever you enjoy listening to your podcasts. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one.